Thanks, Thomas. It's Faith Time, our weekly conversation on matters of faith. And joining us this morning is Dr. Serena Nimitz-Youngskol with the Meditation Center of Mobile. Thank you so very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having us.
So we're a day late on this morning, but yesterday was the Buddhist festival of Asalha Puja. What is that?
Asalha Bucha is actually a very auspicious Buddhist day. This is the day that Buddhism was born, in a sense. This is the day that the Lord Buddha, after attaining enlightenment, gave his first teaching or his first sermon to a group of 5 ascetics who he had once trained with before. And after hearing this first sermon called the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, which we usually normally chant on this day at the temple, all of the monks became enlightened. And one of them, called Kotanya, actually asked to be ordained by the Lord Buddha. And the Lord Buddha ordained him. And thus we had the first monk in Buddhism after listening to the first sermon. So Buddhism was ready to be spread, and the triple gem was complete.
So how is this day generally observed?
So usually all of the Buddhist holidays, we do this similar thing, and supposedly every day we're supposed to do the same thing by following the Lord Buddha's teachings. And we usually do, the heart of Buddhism is to decrease defilements in the mind by not doing evil, by doing good things in your life, and by purifying your mind through meditation. So normally we'll go to the temple and we'll practice this by donating money and fine things and necessities to the monastic community, chanting the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, which is the sermon that he gave, and lastly by meditating to purify our minds.
So, but how is this observance different from some of the other observances throughout the year?
So all of the observances celebrate a different aspect of the triple gem, or a different aspect of the Lord Buddha's life. So the triple gem is composed of the Buddha himself, the Dharma, and the Sangha. So you have the Buddha, which is Wesak Day, the day that the Lord Buddha was born, the day he was enlightened and passed away. And then you move to Asalha Bucha. He gave his first sermon, and the wheel of Dharma was ready to be turned, and knowledge was ready to be disseminated throughout the world. And we had our first monk, Buddhist monk, Kotanya, and then after that is Makat Bucha, which is in March, when all of the ordained enlightened monks that the Lord Buddha ordained, 1,250 monks, met without further arrangement to hear the Lord Buddha's teachings.
You mentioned a while ago that this particular observance is all about really the first sermon, the Buddha's first sermon. What is the significance of that sermon?
So the first sermon laid kind of the groundwork for Buddhism and laid the main pillars of Buddhist tenets and Buddhist teachings. Again, the heart of Buddhism, it's very simple. It's just to stop doing bad things in our life, to do good things, and to purify our mind through meditation. But this sermon also laid down the 2 pillars of Buddhism, which are universal through all sects of Buddhism: the 4 Noble Truths and the 8-fold Noble Path. The 4 Noble Truths are simple, actually. Basically, that suffering exists in our life, that suffering originates from attachment or craving. There can be a state where suffering does not exist, called nirvana. And the way out of suffering is the Noble Eightfold Path. There is a way out. The Noble Eightfold Path, without going into too much detail, is basically how to live your life in the right way, to be mindful and have a good livelihood, good speech, basically to think good, to speak good, and to do good actions.
And in one sentence, what do you think people should take away from this observance?
To have great gratitude to the Lord Buddha for coming out to teach everybody, to disseminate his knowledge, because there are millions of Buddhas in this world, and many of them are silent. They don't come out and teach. It's just like we all have that wise mind within, and we have the capability of attaining that wise mind, that light inside of us. But without a roadmap, like you're trying to go to California and you don't know the way, it'd be very difficult to chance upon LA. And so the same with us. The Lord Buddha, he gave us a roadmap to attain the ultimate peace and happiness in our life. And I hope that people will reconnect with the qualities of the Buddha and try to bring them into their life by doing good things and spreading kindness to the people around them.
All right, Dr. Serena Nimitz-Youngskol with the Meditation Center of Mobile. Thank you so very much for joining us this morning for this edition of Faith Time. And News 5 this morning will continue after the break.
Thank you.